welcome back to Alan Presents. I'm Leanne, and that's Alan. We're here today to give you our reactions to the WWE event day one.
I don't know RVD thing then, just then when you said that. And this is Alan. It's like, I am.
We should start doing that.
No, maybe
so,
not.
First thing to say, Happy New Year to all our viewers. Thank you for sticking with us, and
we hope you had a good New Year's without what you did. You spent it with friends, family, loved ones, on your own. That's a valid option too.
or watching day one.
Well, New Year's Eve into New Year's Day would be a different thing, but yeah. We hope you have a fantastic 2022. The last couple of years haven't been the greatest for any of us. But yeah.
Here's to things getting a bit better.
Getting a bit back to normality,
on the way
should we
back
say?
Up. Yeah.
Unless you're
Sure.
WWE. What, huh?
Well,
Okay.
who knows?
So I'm not sure where you started on your notes.
I started with, very briefly, with the weird intro bit.
Okay, go on.
Very briefly.
Yeah, go on.
All I put down was, who are you, rapper man? We find out later that he's part of a group. I think he's one of those guys, the Migos, which we'll talk about more in a bit. He basically just intros the event with some, scripted lines.
Yeah.
And then we go to... the commentator saying that Brock Lesnar demanded to be entered into the four-way match, making it a fatal five-way.
Why?
Because Roman Reigns has COVID.
Roman Reigns has contracted COVID and therefore could not compete or defend his Universal Championship against Brock Lesnar.
Yep.
So Brock Lesnar pretty much demanded to be placed into the fatal four-way, making it a five-way.
Completely changing the makeup of the match.
On the side of that then, just to preface this, and we did talk about this when we found out about this, in terms of the match then, who are you predicting wins the... Obviously, we've seen the event now, but we know what we each said and we can call each other out if we change our opinions now.
Alan wrote it down.
I did write it down. So
fine.
You still went with Big E.
I thought that they wouldn't change the result this late into the
And going into it, the only thing that I could see coming out of this was Brock Lesnar just decimating and winning the championship.
Yeah, so that's our updated predictions.
Because apparently Roman Reigns is the only person in WWE who can really beat Brock Lesnar these days. Anyway, let's go.
Cool. The first match, SmackDown Tag Team Championships. The Usos versus The New Day. It was a pretty good match. The crowd seemed engaged, which is nice to see with the first match on the card. And there were some really good top tag team spots from both teams. So overall, not a bad match.
They seem to be, and I put it as my notes somewhere. They seem to be trying to be a lot of different teams. Like the finisher was the 3D by the Dudley Boys. There was a part where it looked like they were doing the super kick party from the Young Bucks.
Like slightly different because they weren't like holding the arms or anything.
Oh no, that's the BT trigger.
Oh, that's the BT trigger.
The super kick party is...
That's just super kicking them in the face.
Because it's knees. The BT, the trigger is
that's
knees.
Right. I remember.
So it's the super kick party.
Yes. It was a bit like that. So yeah, but I mean, I think they have enough of their own stuff that they have their own identity.
Yeah, for now.
But whether it's just trying to get sort of a bit more crowd draw by bringing in familiar things from other tag teams.
I've never seen the Usos pull off a 3D that I can remember. Which is
good job.
Which is what's throwing me a little bit.
Yeah, but it worked well. But that was a finishing move for the Usos to win and retain the championship. Which
that's
I think we both got that right, did we?
Yes, yeah. No.
No,
you said New Day.
I said New Day, but I was wrong.
Yeah, you said New Day was going to win it.
Cool.
This isn't going to be a long video.
No,
because it wasn't really an event of worthy note, really.
You'll notice it as we go through. There was so many like filler bits in the middle.
Oh god. Yeah,
so
there was.
Speaking of, so after that match finished, we had a recap, a vignette of Big E.
Yeah, like a profile maybe.
Yeah, so sort of where he started and then his like what happened this year sort of thing.
Well,
so
last year now, isn't it?
Last year, which was we sort of assumed that it was because of the main event. It's fine. It was a bit
I
long.
wonder, and we talked about this when we were watching it, is that we wonder when Roman Reigns actually tested positive. Because what's his face, moron, Pat McAfee, literally said Roman Reigns isn't in the building. Right, okay, that's fine, but it's New Year's Day. it was announced. They literally said a couple of hours before the event that it was announced on his Twitter feed, and yet at that point he would have been in the building. So I personally believe that this was known maybe a day or so, maybe 2 days before.
Yeah, because he's likely to have tested before traveling.
Because the event started, I think it was 8 p.m. And the Twitter thing went up at 6 p.m. They literally said the times.
Yeah.
Now, it's going to take more than an hour or an hour and a half to put these sort of vignettes together.
Yeah.
You know, so, yeah, I feel that there's a lot of... I mean, they haven't necessarily got to say, you know, oh, he tested yesterday, or just say, Roman Reigns tested positive. It wasn't... Don't put a date on it. Don't put a timestamp on it. Don't go, oh, it was a couple of hours ago that we learned he's tested positive.
Yeah.
Like, and then now everything's changed.
Because the timelines don't seem to add up. It makes it feel like they're not being honest.
Like we said with Seth Rollins.
Holders.
Yeah, look at what we said with Seth Rollins. He tweeted out on the 27th of December that he tested positive. This is 6 days later, and he's in the event.
Yeah.
Even though the incubation period is 10 days.
Yeah, it's all a bit...
So...
He seemed healthy.
What?
But being healthy doesn't necessarily mean that you aren't carrying it and transmitting it. But
and I'm wondering if that whole thing about WWE not requiring testing anymore is something to do with this.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Who knows? Speculation. Okay, so after the Biggie recap, he had an interview, and we both pointed out that he didn't seem quite right in this interview. He seemed to be quite evasive. He did not look at the camera once.
He was very...
He wasn't looking at the interviewer.
Doing a lot of this.
And it might just be my imagination, but to me it looked like he might have been crying, because he had almost tear stained down just under one eye.
It, yeah.
And it could be anything, but in our minds that was...
That for me solidified that he was not walking out with the championship.
That's the match has been changed last minute.
Yeah.
And he's not going to keep his championship, and understandably would be upset.
The only time that the match probably would have changed any closer to the match than that was when Brock fought Roman Reigns. I think it was at WrestleMania a couple of years back, and Vince changed the match as the match was happening.
Yeah.
And Brock was irate.
Yeah, it's not fair.
It's really not. It's really not.
I know there's the specific circumstances, but at least
in that case, give Brock Lesnar the night off.
Yeah.
Or have him come out and someone else interrupt him and just trash this guy instead. You know, don't take it out on Big E.
There wasn't any storyline reason to add him to the match.
Not saying that he has beaten Big E at this point, because we haven't got to that point of the card, but it just feels like that this is being taken out. Roman Reigns testing positive. It's like, well, screw Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, Bobby Lashley, and Big E. We're just going to punish them by chucking Brock Lesnar on the match. That's what it felt like.
Yeah, not a great start.
No.
Okay, after Big E's interview, we had another interview. At this point, it didn't seem so bad.
This pay-per-view had more interviews than Saturday Night Live.
I know. So, an interview with the world's most famous hip-hop group.
Oh, God. They didn't.
Yeah, at this point, that was it.
Yeah.
I wrote it down word for word. The Migos.
Who?
Migos? Or the Migos? I don't know.
My point is, I've never heard of these people until they started going, thank you to this group for giving the theme song to Day One.
Yeah, we're not hip-hop people, you can probably tell by looking at it.
But the thing is, we know the names of artists anyway, because they are prevalent in popular culture.
Yeah, never heard of these guys.
You know, you've heard of Kanye,
more American...
you've heard of Ariana Grande, you've heard of all these other...
I'm
not going to start spewing. Yeah, but the point is that even though we're not into that music, we still know the names.
And this is where, going back to the start, the sort of introduction by this rapper guy, who I think is part of this group, they don't put the name up on the screen to show who it is or anything. They assume that everyone watching knows, and I'm like, just some dude, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the Migos, and they sort of hinted that there might be some surprises later. They were going to be, what was it, hitting the turnbuckles?
Yeah, I'm going to be hitting all those turnbuckles.
Yeah, they might be getting involved in a match or something. I don't know.
If anyone doesn't know what hitting turnbuckles is, if you go back and watch a Stone Cold Steve Austin intro, his entrance, he would hit every turnbuckle. He'd come in the ring, he'd go up to the second, he'd give the crowd the bounce to the next one, do it, and he would do all four corners.
Yeah.
That's hitting the turnbuckles.
So, okay. Then we go into our next match.
Yeah.
Madcap Moss versus Drew McIntyre. We start with some real bad jokes.
And some really bad braces.
Really. Yeah, Moss had his suspenders on, and I have written down Moss has suspender trubs.
Yeah, he did.
He did.
It's so many trubs.
There was because okay, so Drew pulled open his shirt to do slaps, which is another thing I put down because the sound did not seem to. It was like I know. Like chops across the chest are meant to be loud to have impact, but these seemed too loud, like unrealistic.
One of the loudest I've ever heard naturally do it is Big Show.
Yeah.
Because he's got that hand that's the size of like a shovel.
Just,
Drew McIntyre cannot match that size or that impact because Big Show is 7'3".
Yeah.
He's massive.
And maybe I'm just being skeptical.
No.
But I was like, has he got a mic in his wrist guard or something? Or someone in the production truck is just like clapping in front of a microphone.
Unless they've got some sort of directional mics on the cameras now.
Maybe.
And they're like, right, when they're doing chops, put it on and they point it towards it maybe.
It distracted me a bit because I was then sort of looking at every other impact to see whether it was sort of matching sound-wise.
It felt very out of place.
Yeah, it was weird. So, okay, so he has his shirt pulled open, which obviously then displaces the suspenders. So then he's doing other moves and the suspenders are like falling down a bit. And there's like one point where the camera's sort of somewhere else and you know that the ref is like helping him put his suspenders back on.
Yeah.
And then at some point, the suspenders, they end up on his head. It's like the bit at the back where they go together. It was on his head. And I'm like...
How?
It's a high impact match and these must have been quite elastic, I suppose.
Yeah.
So they were like flying all over the place.
Cutting off
But just don't wear them. Don't wear them for a match.
Take them off. Just take them off.
Like, pull them down your shoulders to look like a hard man or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just don't wear them. They're silly.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's awful.
they were funnier than his jokes anyway.
Yeah, that's something at least. That's not a long stretch of the imagination, but
overall though, it wasn't a bad match.
it was alright.
It wasn't great. It wasn't bad.
Let's be honest, it was what it was. It was clearly a squash match just to get Drew another W.
Yeah, I don't think Madcap got much in really, did he?
No. And we're back to the whole 3, 2, 1. I hate that so much.
Which obviously then the person knows it's coming, so counter it. So I think he did get a bit of.
He sort of ducked in, Drew hit the ropes, and he crowned him with a claymore. That was it. And then what did I say at the end of the match?
You said.
What's the bet? The Corbin's next.
Yeah.
Happy Corbin will be next, and then this will be still going on with this awful feud that they've just had going, which isn't the best.
Yeah.
It's just not great.
So McIntyre claymores and wins.
We both had that one right.
Yay! No surprise though.
No. I think if Madcap won, that probably would have been the upset of the year.
Yeah.
I mean, we're only 2 days into the year, but still.
Anything can happen. Cool. Then we've got another interview. Kevin Owens this time. He has an interview.
Yeah.
They're talking about how upset they are that Brock's been added, and he's like off to talk to Seth to
knock out a game plan.
Yeah. And then nice little segue. A nice recap of Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
Along the same lines as Big E, so
yeah.
A bit of where he came from.
That little video of him as a kid, and he's like,
his crossed eyes.
Yeah, that was so funny.
Oh, bless him. He's always been a nerd. I love it. And then sort of what's happened over the last year kind of thing. Yeah. Again, a bit too long.
But then they've the one match down, so I have to fill it with something.
Yeah, true. Very true.
Why not just make the event like 20 minutes shorter?
Yeah. Maybe put on some dark matches for the fans that are in attendance.
Oh, they did that on the kickoff show, didn't they?
Yeah.
With Ridge Holland. Did you put that in the note? I'm assuming we put that in the note somewhere.
I've put it vaguely, so we'll get to it, because they do a recap later on.
Yeah, we didn't watch the kickoff show.
No.
We didn't expect this to run for 3 hours, or just shy of 3 hours, because of the lack of match. 6 matches, 3 hours.
They weren't exactly long matches.
Most of it was filler.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway.
We get a match next.
Yes.
Street Profits versus RK Bro. Yeah. Also...
Oh, yeah. So RK Bro are doing their entrance. What do they do, Leanne?
They beckon to the back.
Randy's there and he's looking like an idiot doing this.
Come on. And then the Migos come out.
Out come Migos.
And they are introduced as the greatest group in the world.
Then they say hottest group in the world.
Possibly. They might have said greatest a little later.
Oh, okay. Possibly, yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Not hip-hop group.
Group in general. So... Tell that to Metallica's platinum albums. Tell that to Kiss's platinum albums. Tell that to Iron Maiden's platinum albums.
Yep.
Slipknot.
Yep.
Beatles. Rolling Stones. I'm going to give them for the back. You know?
Yeah.
Queen.
All genres that have groups. Not even like musical groups. They didn't even specify that it was music. So like sports teams are in this as well. Tag teams in wrestling. It's like...
Apparently the Migos are better than D-Generation X.
I don't like...
Or the Elite.
They could have just said the greatest hip-hop group.
If they'd stuck to hip-hop, I wouldn't have had an issue with it.
No, we don't know enough about hip-hop for any judgment on that. But
But
when
like,
they bring in other genres and other platforms, thank you.
If you go and make a voting poll or something on a social media site and you put, just again, so Migos, Queen, Iron Maiden, Metallica, right? 4 and Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just all the
I'll take that in there as well.
We'll take that in there as well, yeah. So we'll do that. So a big list of that, right? I guarantee you, and you ask people, which of these bands do you not know? Migos will get the highest percentage because I've never heard of them until this. I was going to say pay-per-view.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, the hottest band in the world, hottest group in the world.
No.
Bull. Absolute bull, absolute trash.
I know that across time, whenever there's been musical acts, there is a generational gap.
I just realised I got a slip my shirt on as well.
I got a kiss.
Hey!
There's always going to be a generational gap where young people will know about a band and people maybe our age and above won't know about them yet because they haven't quite entered into the full public consciousness and we're like not with it or whatever.
So similar sort of vein, right? How long have the Imagine Dragons been going?
Years, I don't know how long. A long time.
But I never heard of them.
No.
I've never heard the music, but I know of the name.
Yeah.
Like, I could probably go on social media and someone will go, this is the new song by such and such. And I'll be like, oh, I know the name.
Yeah. I mean, we're probably talking about this too long.
Yeah.
Bottom line is...
It just annoyed me.
I was angry. He was angry. They can't... it's not right.
I mean, is hip-hop even music? Ooh!
Controversial.
Let's carry on before I get...
Technically, yes. So they come in, they've got like red ropes by the chairs they're going to sit in.
Yeah, like a VIP area.
Because they're the greatest group in the world. And they watch the match, which is okay.
It's alright, yeah.
It's alright match.
It's got a couple of good spots in there.
Yeah.
Something looked different about, not Angelo Dawkins, Montez Ford.
Yes.
And I still can't place it. I think he's done his hair, maybe he's shaved it or...
I think his hair is definitely different because it was in like almost cornrows.
Yeah.
Thing.
So I'm trying to think if he had shaved head or if he was just short. I don't remember.
I think he might have been
He's been
shaved.
off for a few weeks because he had an injury.
I
think, as you say, I think he did used to wear like a shirt or something because I didn't ever notice his full sleeve before.
But it might have been you. I don't know.
Maybe.
So it's a right match.
I mean, Randy Orton did that.
Yeah.
He got put out. Oh, excuse me, years and years and years ago, he got put out with an injury. He had some tattoos, like the tribal stuff. When he came back, he had 2 full sleeves. It's like, whoa.
Good way to use your downtime.
What?
You can't exactly wrestle with fresh tattoos.
Yeah, well, you could, but it's dangerous.
Yeah, you don't want to.
Anyway.
Yeah, so RKO for the win.
Yeah.
RKO
is RKO hits were
I
usual.
said that weirdly.
I like the RKO, but I feel like it's being overused.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, this match went over with an RKO. Okay.
And it could be either of them hitting it at this point.
Yeah, which is even more frustrating because you got double the chance of winning it.
Yeah.
Don't let me get into Scott Steiner math, okay?
Okay, no, we're not going to do Scott Steiner math. Thank you very much.
If anyone doesn't know what that is, go look up on YouTube Scott Steiner math.
It's entertaining, but boggles your mind a bit.
It is, yeah. It'll fry your brain. Don't do it when you're drunk or high. Not that I condone getting high. Not that I condone getting drunk either, really, because I've never been drunk, so...
You do you. Okay.
Yeah, you do you, booze.
So then we go into another set of filler.
Wait.
So first of all, we cut to Drew McIntyre.
WWE sound like one of those long-running animes right now. Filler Central.
This is the beach episode.
Wait.
So Drew apparently can't find the locker room.
Oh yeah, that's right. I keep getting turned around.
Where's the locker? I can't do accents, but yeah, you can find.
Where's the locker room?
And then has an interview because he's wandering about.
Lost, apparently.
No reason for it. I guess he just wanted a reason to be wandering about. So he has an interview and then, surprise, surprise, is attacked by Corbin and Moss.
Called it.
Yeah. They attack him.
Yeah.
Put his head in a chair and whack him with a heavy...
Yeah, like a bit of...
thing.
don't know, you call it like rigging.
Yeah, that kind of.
And Corbin's like, making it look heavy, and he throws it down, and then he picks it back up, and he throws it so hard like a javelin, and I'm just like
whee! Flying away like a piece of polystyrene.
Really? You did a decent job of selling it, making it look heavy.
Just like
And
throw
then,
it on the floor next to you. It's fine. So yeah, that was fun. So clearly it's going to be Drew and Corbin. But Drew might be injured.
I wonder if they do that as a singles match at the Rumble, or if they'll just have them
Maybe.
go into the Rumble at the same time.
Speaking of the Rumble ad was next.
Oh, really? Yeah. I did not know. I haven't got my glasses on. I cannot see what it says on that phone. Just
job.
for that.
Well done.
Yeah, fair play.
Yeah. Ad for the Royal Rumble, which is on the 29th of January.
4 weeks.
Not long. At least we won't have much to catch up on if we fall behind. So that was good. And then we had another one of these recap story of the year kind of things. But it was Bianca Belair, who isn't on the card.
Yeah.
Which sort of threw our theory of they're going to do one for each of the guys in the,
Yeah, that was weird.
the 5-way. Bianca Belair.
So we had Biggie and Seth.
Yeah, Big E, Seth,
That's
and
right.
then Bianca. Just fine.
It's a bit
Her
weird.
story's quite cool, but it was sort of spun a different way for the character.
Yeah.
We've seen the documentary bits.
Chronicle, I think it was
I
called.
think so, which sort of paint a different story.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the character, so that's fine. It was interesting but pointless. And then we have an interview with Brock Lesnar.
Which was actually quite entertaining.
Yeah, it was. I'm really enjoying Brock Lesnar's character at the moment.
Yeah, Lumberjack Brock.
He did that wink at the end. It's like,
Lumberjack Lesnar. There we go.
Lumberjack Lesnar. That's great. Yeah, that was fine. That's good.
Yeah, and he stole the mic.
He did. He just
walked off with the
because he
mic.
took the mic off her, spoke to the camera, and then just left with it.
Didn't hand it back, just walked off.
I wonder if he has it in his pocket still.
That's why he didn't come out and hit someone with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Then we go to Miz versus Edge, and we have a recap because we didn't have enough recaps in that segment, but it's relevant because it's a feud leading up to the match, although it's a bit long.
Yeah.
You know?
Considering this has only been, what, 3 weeks build up maybe?
Yeah.
Maximum?
It's been quite fun.
Yeah.
They're both great. Like we were saying in the predictions, they're great on the mic. They're great in the ring.
Yeah. Like, I still remember The Miz when he first came in, and he was greener than baby doo-doo, you know, and it was, wow. And to see him now, he's really, really so greatly improved on that.
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing. It's I love seeing that. Like, you get someone come in, it's like, well, you know, going back to my favourite, Stone Cold Steve Austin. He came in as the ringmaster. I never watched WCW before this point. Was it 95? And he comes in as the ringmaster, and the gimmick's absolute trash. It's horrid. You've got Ted DiBiase talking for him. And nothing to knock Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man. He's amazing, but the ringmaster carriage didn't work for Steve Austin. So when he broke away from that and he started sort of going out of his own sort of shell and talking his own promos, and you can see that gradual rise. And The Miz did the same thing. Austin obviously had a wrestling background prior to WWF, because it is WWF at the time. Miz came from reality TV into this, and it was like, well, you're not going to make it. And we watched, was it Chronicle as well, I think, the Miz one? Was it 24? I can't remember which one it was. And if you haven't seen it and you've got the network, I urge you to go and watch it, because it is a fantastic watch. And he sort of, they sort of moved his bags, and they put fecal matter in his bags, and they wouldn't even dress in the locker rooms, even the janitor's closet and all this kind of stuff. And now he's like on this pedestal as one of the best in the business.
Yeah, he's earned his way through. He's proved everyone wrong.
And I think he's only ever had like 2 injuries maximum in all that time.
Yeah.
Like, damn, Miz. Fair play.
So,
and to be fair, his wife is great as well.
Oh yeah,
Like, she's
great.
a women's champion as well.
She's brilliant on so many levels. Yes, good. And Ms. and Mrs. is a great show.
Yeah, it is. I'm wondering if they'll be coming back in April.
Hopefully. So, Edge's entrance.
Yeah.
Would you like to?
Well, the Miz come out first.
Yeah.
And they're sort of lingering on Miz and Maurice in the ring, and he's like, I love you, and she's like, I love you too. He's like, I love you so much. And it's like, right, this seems to be stringing on a bit. Hang on a minute, what's going on here? So the lights go down, and that sort of the breath, heavy breathing sort of noise comes up, and then the Brood music. The Brood entrance is back. And I absolutely love the Brood. I always have. I think they're a fantastic faction when they come in, and I've always had that soft spot for that, because it's the darkness, the gothicness, the kind of things like that. I love my horror stuff. And yeah, I thought that was fantastic. But then he sort of walks down this makeshift ramp, and then he goes down, and his normal music starts. And I don't know if that kills it or not.
Yeah.
Because I feel you should retain that mystery of the Brood entrance all the way to the ring, and not sort of do a double entrance.
But WWE have been completely milking the pop when his music starts, and I think that my sort of fan theory, he wanted the Brood entrance, and someone in creative was like, you can't have the Brood entrance, you have to have yours because we need the pop.
Yeah.
So they compromise.
But the thing is, as soon as the lights go down, that heavy sort of breathing starts, they pop.
Yeah.
They see him rising out of the flames, they pop.
Yeah. But
That's the whole
I reckon creative, was whoever decided, I don't know, maybe they didn't expect the crowd to pop for the Brood because
maybe
it's not as current and the younger generation might not know about it.
Maybe.
I don't know. Speculation.
Maybe.
So it's a bit, I guess, dumbed down, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, they don't do the bloodbath anymore. It's the gunk bath, I'm going to call it.
I think they said viscous liquid.
The black bath.
Black bath. That doesn't sound right either.
No, it doesn't do that.
Cool.
Anyway.
A couple of fun things in this match. I did enjoy this match. It was good.
Just one, because I wrote it down here actually, thinking about sort of the Brood entrance, and the last time they used it was Seth Rollins.
Yes.
And they had that massive build-up with Seth Rollins, and Seth went to his house, and he was playing mind games. Mm-hmm. Did the Brood entrance really get merited for this one? Because there wasn't really a lot of that sort of thing going on.
It was just because they did the black bath.
Yeah, I feel that they might be at risk of overusing this.
Yeah, I think they need more of a build-up, like you say.
Like Edge went to a dark place with the Seth Rollins feud, and that's where the Brood thing came from.
But this was more of a trying to scare the
Miz
thing.
2 weeks in, you slagged me off for 2 weeks. Here's some black bath. Here's the Brood entrance. I hope they don't overuse it. As much as I love it, I don't want them to overuse it.
I agree. It should be special. I agree completely. There was a fun chant in this one. The Miz got a pin, and the count was happening, and he had his legs up on the top rope.
Blatantly obvious.
So obvious. So obviously the ref caught it and was saying you can't do it. You're not allowed. It's not gonna fly. Not with me. And then the crowd start chanting, "You can't do that." It's so good. Like, with all the piped in stuff, it's really nice to hear something that's genuinely organic.
Yeah.
It was nice.
That was cool.
It was good. They were into it.
How long do you think till they start piping that one in?
There's not enough. It would either happen way too much.
It'll be in every Miz match you watch. Every Miz match, you'll do something.
You can't do that. No, thank you. Just leave it as this one moment, please. Okay, so Maurice shenanigans.
Yeah, as always. Like I stated.
As expected. There were quite a few moments which was quite nice when they were like on the outside and Maurice was sort of there but like stood back. I'm not near. I'm not
waiting for a moment to strike.
Yeah, because she's a pro. She knows when the right moment is, and she did get involved.
Yeah. I honestly thought that handbag was going to be loaded.
Yeah.
With like a brick or something, because they've done that in the past.
Yeah, could have been, but it wasn't in this case. But that's fine. But then after Maurice sort of tries to interfere, guess who comes out?
Well, let's sort of...
Okay.
So Maurice slaps Edge with the bag, and then Miz hits him with the skull-crushing finale, and I thought, oh, wow, Miz is going to get the win here. It was a close one.
It was close.
But then you just got to see the crowd, and then Miz sort of rolls off, and he's like... And Maurice is on the outside going, what? And then she turns around and...
Beth Phoenix! Looking fierce as anything.
What did I say in the production video?
That Beth Phoenix is going to come out. So, Beth stood at the top of the ring, and then after a while of...
Top of the ramp.
Ramp.
She stood on top of the ring,
Oops.
apparently. Yeah, I thought this was a bit janky, because they had the camera on her, and it's there for a good maybe 10, 15 seconds maybe.
Doing a
she's
hard
scowling.
Stare.
Yeah, good old hard stare.
Her hair was amazing, mate.
And it reminded me of Aloy.
Yeah.
And then her music hits, and it's like, well, what?
It's always...
No, have the music hit. Yeah. Have her come out and stand there and still do the stare whilst the music's playing. Adds more impact.
Yeah, definitely. Rather than she just stood there for a bit, and then they play the music while she starts walking.
That was weird.
But there we go. She came out and caused enough of a... She managed to get Maurice to run away.
Yeah.
And then just stood around looking fierce. And Edge got a
just
spear in
basically
there.
cut Miz in half with an edge.
Yeah, with a spear.
And got it, yeah.
With an edge.
Yeah.
To win.
Yeah.
So it's good. And then they were stood in the ring, Edge and Beth.
Yeah.
Looking like a power couple to end all power couples.
I still think, I 100% firmly believe that my prediction was right with this, and that it's going to be a mixed tag match, maybe at Rumble.
Most likely, yeah.
I think. Because I don't think they'll want to just throw it away on Raw.
No, I don't think so.
And if they do, they're stupid.
Cool. Ads time. NXT New Year's Evil ad. Right.
Yeah, Tommaso Ciampa's going to lose his title, I think.
Yeah. Sounds like it.
Not that I've seen NXT since July, because it's just trash.
No.
Right?
They replayed the Royal Rumble ad for some reason.
Yeah.
Same one.
We need more time, damn it. Play the ads.
Then Lashley has an interview. It's alright.
Big Bob.
Yeah, same thing as before.
Yeah.
He's not happy that Brock's in there, but I think he was indicating that he can take him. It's all good.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
And people have been clamouring for this match for years.
Oh yeah, that'll be such a good match.
Mm-hmm.
Just those two.
Yeah, it's 1-on-1. That'd be great.
Then an ad for WrestleMania.
Not the usual Stone Cold one, though.
No, it wasn't. But it was
Boo.
guess what? It's 2 days.
I wonder if this is the norm going forward.
I have a feeling it will be.
I don't know how to feel about that.
I don't like it. I don't know. I think having one big event is more impactful than spreading it. I think.
But then on the other hand of that, you've got a 7-hour event.
Yeah.
In one go.
More time for ads and interviews. Yeah. Cool. Next, Raw Women's Championship: Liv Morgan versus Becky Lynch. But we'll have a bit of a recap before.
Yeah, as
Show the
always.
feud.
Yeah, as always.
Yeah, these ones I don't mind so much because they're directly linked to the match.
Yeah.
But it was again.
They
it's
just
a bit
felt
long.
a lot longer than usual.
Yeah, and
Because
whether
usually
that's...
it might be 2 minutes. This felt a lot longer.
Yeah, I know there's. It's not even like there's a huge amount really to cover on this feud. It's sort of just a bit of back and forth.
Yeah.
There you go. It's fine. Becky comes out. Her outfit. Oh my days. Okay, I'm gonna do it bit by bit. So it's a black leather-ish jacket.
Yeah.
With panels that look like white fur. On the back, a big like back patch type panel, white fur with black, in black letters, goat. On her shoulders, one on each side.
Are you okay? Do you take a breather?
Stuffed toys of goats. She had goats on her shoulders.
So, for anyone who doesn't know the reference of GOAT, it's GOAT, greatest of all time. Becky Lynch is 100% absolutely not the greatest of all time.
Correct.
She's good.
Yes.
She's not the greatest of all time.
I guess her character has ego. That's where it comes from.
I'm wondering if the only reason they're pushing that is because she's with Seth Rollins.
I think maybe trying to get into match, but they're not like doing anything together. But maybe that'll come
Maybe they
later.
will. Maybe Seth will reignite his feud with Edge at some point, and then they'll have Edge and Beth Phoenix against Becky and Seth.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
Maybe.
Anyway.
Yeah. So these goats, weird, really weird. And then when she takes the jacket off, her ring gear. Obviously, I don't think on purpose.
No, I think it's just coincidence.
But there's on each shoulder just an oval opening, so it looks like the goats ate through a ring gear. Made me laugh. Don't know if that was the intention. I can't see how you can put.
Well,
stuffed
it made you
toys.
confused, and then you laughed because you were like, wait, what?
I don't know how you can do an outfit that has soft toys attached to it without the expected reaction being, huh? And then laughter.
Yeah.
It must have been.
You're trying to portray yourself as this total badass.
And
You've got stuffed goats on your shoulders.
Oh, it's terrible. Awful. I kind of want it.
No.
I'd never wear it, but if I was going to get any ring worn gear, the goat coat.
The goat.
Sorry, okay.
Second day of the year. This is how my New Year's going.
Okay, cool. Not a great match really. There's some
decent spots.
But also some a bit clumsy. I don't think Liv was on top form, to be honest. There was a drop kick that just did not seem to connect at all. Camera angle made it okay.
Thankfully, yeah, just about.
But it sort of looked like instead of making an impact, she sort of slid down. We had good old slow count ref.
Yeah.
Real slow, but consistent.
It's like, 1. No, 2.
So it's usually like 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Sometimes they'll change the pace to match the pace of the match.
Yeah, like Earl Hebner used to with title matches right at the end.
But this was like 1, 2, 3. That was sort of the motion she was doing.
It's supposed to be 3 seconds. That's probably the accurate count, but
with the pace of the match,
yeah.
it didn't fit.
No.
And it was the same time for everything.
Yeah.
And then when she was counting them out because they were out of the ring at one point.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
It's like usually they get quite a bit of time because it's like 1, come on guys, get back in. 2, and then something else.
But they'll take a couple of steps back and then go back to the ropes and like 3.
They give them a good chance, but this was a lot quicker than usual.
It felt like maybe one number every 2 seconds.
Yeah, I think probably the same timing as her pin counts,
maybe,
roughly.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think she might be having a bit of a talking to after this one.
Maybe.
Because it's good that she was consistent with her own counts.
Yeah.
Because it didn't show any favouritism. But she should be consistent with the other refs as well.
Yes.
Because it completely changes the pace of a match if the counts are off.
Yeah. So, like, if you go back and watch, I don't think you see many of them, but Earl Hebner, when he was refereeing a main, like, world title match at the end, he knows when the finish is coming.
Yeah.
And he would do, consistent counts out 1, 2, and then kick out. But then you come to the end of it, and you literally go... And it draws out that tension for the 3 count. And I just remember... And he'd always do the full rotation on his arm, and he'd bring it down. Yeah. And it just felt so right. It's like, come on. And it drags that tension back in.
Yeah, it's with purpose.
Yes.
And it fits with the pace of the match.
Yeah.
That's the main thing.
Earl Hebner was involved in the Montreal Screwjob. I still think he's still one of the best that ever did it.
Yeah.
Not the Screwjob, but refereeing in
He's
general.
the best one to do a screw job.
But the best referee in the business of all time, I reckon.
Yeah, probably. So yeah, that was alright. Becky wins, retains the championship.
Whoop-de-doo, the finish was a bit naff as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't even write what I say what I said here because it's not PG friendly.
Oops.
Yeah, it's naff finish.
Not great.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
It was alright, but the ending was trash.
Considering it was the only women's match on the card, I was sort of hoping for a bit more, but
yeah.
You work with what you got, I suppose.
And then it's quite funny is that I've not seen the match, I've seen photos from it, and again it's going to be a bit of a sidebar and it happens with every WWE video, but AEW's Rampage event on last week had a 4-woman tag match, no holds barred tag match, and that was apparently brutal and there was blood all over the place. Oh. And it just goes to show that not necessarily say that you've got to have blood and all this kind of stuff, but that's on televised, like, cable or whatever it is in the States. I don't know what TNT is on in the States, but syndicated or it's cable or whatever. And this is on a pay-per-view, which we're going to get into, by the way. Pay-per-view event, and it was just meh. And it's for the title.
Yeah.
Meh. And the tag match wasn't for any titles. It just winds me up.
Yeah. Okay, another set of filler.
Hey!
Interview with Seth. Same thing. Not happy that
Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar.
Then, I don't usually write the sort of more normal general ads in because it's sort of not relevant to wrestling. So there was one before which was an ad for Peacock, which is the streaming service that WWE is on in America.
Yes.
But I've written this one down because it became apparent that pay-per-views aren't called pay-per-views anymore for WWE.
Yeah.
They are premium live events.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Pay-per-views, rest in peace.
Rest in pay-per-view.
Rest.
But it's still the same concept, isn't it? That
Well, it depends if they're still going to be running it through other providers or you can buy them separately, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose.
That's the issue of it. Peacock might have said, well, we're not going to do that anymore.
If they're exclusive, but then you still maybe have to pay an extra cost to access them.
Possible. Which would be an awful way to do it. And if they start doing that in the UK, yeah, I'm done. I am done.
I think this is a good moment to go to...
Unveil the new sign. I haven't even seen this myself.
I'm going to do it on camera.
I haven't even seen this myself.
So, hang on.
Oh, right, okay, you're actually going to...
I don't know whether to write the whole thing out or
anyone who's seen...
to do the initials.
You do you. Anyone who's seen any of our videos before, the reaction videos, Leanne's signs of the pay-per-view.
So now it's Leanne's signs of the play. Leanne's signs of the premium live event. Leanne's signs of the premium live event.
I feel that you should probably put a WWE premium live event on that because I think AEW will still call them.
That's why.
Oh.
Okay.
Cool. Okay. Let me hold that.
Hang on. Wait a minute. Wait. It's cancelled.
I was not expecting that.
I'm so upset. The signs were awful. There weren't hardly any, and they were bad. I'm done. We might bring it back. I don't know. I feel bad now. My poor sign. Seriously,
are you
though.
okay?
Alan, where were the signs?
Are you okay?
I don't know. Where were the signs?
I don't know. We saw one.
There was one sign
We saw one
that had too much text on it to read.
It looked like it was a book.
It was a book. There were...
Like the sign was like this.
How? How are you supposed to read that?
And they literally held it. They went...
Then there were a couple of your normal, The Miz is awesome. Yeah, not original. And there was I acknowledge Roman Reigns. No,
Oh yeah, I
no
forgot about that one.
thanks.
Yeah, I forgot
No
about
good signs. My favourite sign guy was not present, or if he was, didn't have
You
his
dropped
signs
the
on
ball,
it.
friend.
I miss him.
He'll be back for Rumble, I think.
He'll be back. That's it. That's my segment. It's done.
Okay.
I don't know what happened. Signs used to be good. It's just been a downward trend. Ugh. Okay. Anyway, I'm shaking. Okay. Then we have a recap.
Another one.
Back to normal service. A recap from the kickoff show match, which Sheamus won.
Oh yeah. Well, it was a tag team match.
Tag team match.
Yeah. So you had Sheamus and Ridge Holland against Cesaro and Ricochet.
And some rough spots. Oof. I'm not sure what the move was that Ricochet was doing.
I think it was like a 450, I think.
450. He was going to
Maybe.
splash. But his foot sort of went onto
Ridge
Holland's face and like dragged across.
It wasn't even that did it was the shin.
Yeah.
Because his foot drags across and then his shin hits him.
Yeah, it was rough. And then Ridge Holland was
I looked
out.
this up afterwards, it broke his nose.
Yeah.
He's broken his nose.
Oh.
I
hope he's okay then.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he'll recover. And Ricochet probably feels awful.
That's actually quite funny when you think about it in the sense that Sheamus had the same thing and they're on a tag team.
Yeah.
Because Sheamus had that face piece on for quite some time because he
true.
broke his nose.
Yeah.
And now Ridge Holland, his partner, his tag team partner, has broke his nose.
They can both have the face shields on together. So yeah, but it's nice that he still won, even though...
Yeah, Sheamus is a beast. I like Sheamus.
Yes, yeah. So that was good. Then we had Johnny Knoxville calling in, or pre-recorded probably. So he's plugging the new Jackass film, obviously, because it's coming out soon, and...
It's next month, I think.
I mean, if you enjoy that stuff, great. It's not for me. Don't like it.
You either enjoy that stuff, or you're an adult.
It just feels so weird that they're doing all this stupid stuff. And it was one thing when they were doing it, they were like teenagers. But now they are fully grown men and still like, I don't know. It's terrible. Yeah, but anyway, he also entered himself into the Royal Rumble.
Well, he said he'd like to enter himself in the Rumble, but he's going to let it up for other people who wouldn't want to be destroyed by him, I guess. I can't remember the exact words he used, but...
So, I don't know. He might be at the event, potentially.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he did show up and was in the Rumble.
You're not winning it, though.
Oh, no.
They wouldn't let that happen.
Drew Carey into the Rumble, he just got...
Yeah, it's just for laughs.
Yeah. But then it takes the spot away from someone else, so...
Yeah. So that was... Okay.
But then at that point, they probably need to make up the numbers from all the people they fired, so...
True. Then we have our recap of the feud, the story leading up to the main event.
Yeah. Which, again, overly long.
Yeah, long.
And the intros, overly long. I think the intros took about 10 minutes.
Yeah, it was about 10.
10, 12 minutes maybe.
Something like that. So we've got the Fatal 5-Way for the WWE Championship.
Who was in it?
Big E.
Right.
Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
Bobby Lashley.
Yeah.
His name has just gone. I can see him. We've been talking about him all day. Brock Lesnar.
There you go.
I know things. You know when it's that pressure and then your mind goes completely blank, and I had his face like grinning at me in my head.
With his lumberjack shit, his braces, he's like...
and his big beard.
And his top knot.
It was a good match. I enjoyed this match.
It was probably about 10 minutes. It was short, it was sweet, it was impactful.
Yeah, everyone got a chance to shine.
Yeah.
Which is actually quite impressive in such a short match with so many
Kevin
people
Owens and Seth Rollins caused so much carnage.
I know. They're like obviously teaming up to try and take the bigger guys down, and they're like got the stairs into people and
Lashley steamrolled Lesnar through the barricade.
Yeah, it was like carnage in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's good. Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah.
But as Alan predicted, Lesnar just like crushes everyone. A lot of F5s.
I mean, we started off with Suplex City Central.
Yes.
And then everyone was just eating F5s left, right, and centre.
Yeah. It's. I think sometimes I feel like the F5s and suplexes get overplayed.
Yeah.
But I think because it was so compact and it was like suplex, 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 and then a gap, and then F5, F5, F5.
Yeah.
It worked really well. And especially with, I think, the new characters really helping as well to make him more sort of relatable.
Yeah. In terms of what you just said about everyone getting a fair shot and stuff, I do still think Big E didn't really get much in there.
Yeah.
So I think this might be a direct relation to what you were saying earlier about him looking quite downtrodden and like he might have been emotionally overcome by finding out he's going to lose his championship.
So then he's not fully invested then, I suppose.
So like take an F5, just roll out and stay outside.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying that is what he did, but that's what it kind of felt like. Because he was barely in it compared to the other guys.
Yeah, I see what you mean. He just got pummeled a bit.
Like he hit a big ending on someone. Who was it?
He lifted up Brock Lesnar. That was fun.
He hit the big ending on someone before him, though. It might have been Seth.
Yeah.
And then he went to lift up Lesnar for it.
That was impressive,
and
even
Lesnar
if it didn't pay off.
Yeah, and Lesnar just wriggled straight out and just hit with an F5.
He's so nimble.
And then, like, you've got, like, Roman Reigns. He can eat, like, 17 F5s and kick out, probably. And then Big E takes one and he's done. And it just, I don't know, it cheapens it.
Yeah, it does. But...
like, I'll be honest, I'm not really a big fan of Big E. I don't think he doesn't really do anything for me in that aspect.
That's fair.
But I do feel he's been shortchanged.
Yeah.
And I still think they shouldn't have put Brock in the match.
No,
I still
agree.
think they should have had just Brock come out and be like, Roman Reigns isn't here, we're going to meet down the road, you better get better from COVID and blah, blah, blah. And then just have someone else come out and just start mouthing off to Brock and just have Brock destroy them instead. You know? That would have been a much better use of it. So prior to this, I do kind of wonder how long in advance they've known about this. And then how long in advance the storyline was actually written.
Yeah.
And what was the previous outcome of this match? Because if it was decided on the day, then I still firmly believe Big E would have kept his title.
Yeah. Yeah, good point. Good point.
Yeah.
It was fun seeing Brock and Bobby Lashley face off.
I want to see that so bad.
That's going to be... and we think it's probably going to happen because Brock won.
Royal Rumble, I reckon. I reckon they're going to fight each other at Royal Rumble. I think that'll be great.
Yeah, so Brock now has the championship. So it could happen.
Yeah.
Lesnar and Lashley.
Because the thing is, they've never fought.
No.
And then MVP and the mouthpiece will go, you're ducking Bobby. You're ducking Bobby. No, I'm not. I'll fight him at Rumble. Let's go. Whoa, here we go. Here we go. Let's go.
You got 4 weeks to build it up.
Yeah. Yeah, starting. What day are we? Sunday? Tomorrow night on Raw.
Yeah.
I'm losing track of what day it is.
I know. That's what the holiday season does.
Yeah.
So that was day one. It wasn't
Awful.
Wasn't awful.
It wasn't Survivor Series.
No. Thank goodness. There were some good bits. There were some meh bits, and there
was a lot of filler.
Too many ads and. Just
there was more filler in this
things.
pay-per-view than there is in a filler factory.
Yeah.
As in, like, the filler, you mix it with water and put it in balls and stuff.
Yeah.
There's more filler in this than the entirety of Naruto and One Piece combined. There we go.
There we go.
Right, okay, Leanne, take us home.
All right. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed watching day one if you watched it. Or if not, I hope this helped to make it feel a bit better. Please like the video if you did like it. And subscribe to the channel. And hit the bell to be notified when we drop new videos. Aww.
R.I.P. sign.
We will be doing predictions and reactions for Royal Rumble at the end of the month.
And I'm not quite sure what's going on with next week's event yet, Battle of the Belts, with any AEW.
Yes.
So potentially, if that does end up looking like it's going to be held as a major event, we'll try and do that one as well.
We'll keep an eye on that one.
They haven't really said much about it yet.
Yeah, it's going to be a full
But it's
month.
the first Dynamite on TBS this coming Wednesday, so they might just go, hey, boom, 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 Battle of the Belts, here we go.
Yes, quite possibly. Follow us on socials. Our details are in the description below. Leave a comment if you feel like it, if you've got something to say. Let us know what your favourite match of the card was. And I think that's it.
This is us signing off on day 2.
Day 2. Bye!